We were just having this conversation earlier, so I wanted to get your thoughts on this. I'm going to put higher stakes on you than I put on myself. So there is a world, of course, where Ohio State is every bit as legit as they look, and maybe they'll be the favorite to go on and win the title, and maybe they'll win the title. But that's not fun for anyone who's not an Ohio State fan to talk about in November. So let's say that we were to rub the magic 8 ball and we get truth spilled to us, and it's just known truth. Ohio State's pretty vulnerable. They can be beaten just like everyone else. They're just one of the teams in the pack right now. They happen to be number 1. If I were to tell you that's the reality, and I told you, you have to create your championship bubble. You can put as many teams in it as possible that you think can win a national championship. You're trying to put as few teams in there as possible, but if you leave someone out of the bubble that ends up winning the championship, you die. How many teams are in your bubble? Yeah, no, it's not lack of
We're not
pizza.
giving up ice cream for a year or anything. We're going straight to the coffin here.
No, you're dead. You are Undertaker in the ground.
All right, we're leaving this thing small. What is my reward for the smaller it is? Do I get like extra years on my life?
I don't know. I know that's what she said. Okay. I don't know what the reward is. I know you get to live. You do get to live.
Fair enough. And that's a pretty big bonus.
And I'll get you credentialed to the national championship game so you get to watch the game that you predicted in your little bubble.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Indiana's obviously going to be in there.
Right.
Balanced on offense, elite quarterback play, efficient offense. Enough on defense to be able to be disruptive and I think go win a game if they had to. Texas A&M obviously is going to be there. There are some flaws I think you could bring up that you may be slightly concerned about. Some people are just going to point to rushing yards allowed. I look at that more as when you have a high impact, high risk defense and you understand going in that you're going to take these chances. You know you're going to get hit with some bigger plays. I'm not overly concerned about that. They can pressure the quarterback. They can beat you on the ground, through the air with high percentage throws, and obviously a mobile quarterback as well. Alabama is there, an offense that does everything, a defense that's still morphing this late in the season. Josh, they dropped 8 last week, 23 times, I believe, in that game against LSU. The front moved on run stunts and pressures more than I've seen them move all season, so they're still morphing and changing. They're going to be there. Georgia's going to be there. Similar boat to Alabama. Offense does absolutely everything. I think the offensive line is going to continue to grow. By the time they get to second, third round of the playoffs, that could be an O-line that they just lean on and just hammer people. It's been inconsistent through the course of the year, but it could be really good as we get through there later. I almost feel obligated to throw Texas Tech in here because of some injuries, bouncing back and forth between some guys. There's been a little bit of consistency that wasn't there at one point, but I think they have explosive capabilities on offense, and they have a defensive line that can take over a game. And those are 2 qualities that I think you have to have right now to go win a national championship. That's why I would have Ole Miss there. Ole Miss is going to be able to do multiple things offensively to generate points, to stress your offense and defense. And they do not get enough credit for how good they are up front defensively between Eccles, Franklin, and what they have Perkins on the edge to do different things. I don't love the second and third levels as much as I have in the past, third level specifically, but they have enough to disrupt up front. Oregon is obviously their high-profile quarterback in Dante Moore with an offensive line. It's a semifinals for the Joe Moore Award. They can push you around for the most part and then have speed on the outside. The defensive line also disruptive. Notre Dame is still there. I think can control the line of scrimmage. It'll be a different style game for them if they go win it, but I couldn't leave them out just because defensively they have a chance to be elite and one that can go take over games. And now it starts to get, I think, a little bit tricky because I look at Oklahoma and Texas and I want to put them both in. I think Oklahoma's ceiling is a little bit higher than the Texas ceiling because John Mateer can just be that much more special, I think, than maybe anybody not named Ryan Wingo on the Texas offense. Is the offense going to be able to operate that way? There are some defenses that can mitigate that, limit what he's able to do by either caging him in the pocket, utilizing spy or spies, plural, like we've seen Ole Miss do at times with Pete Golding this year. And then defensively, if something happens and they take that Texas game plan into a postseason game and decide not to move as much, I think other teams could find the way to generate some offense.
Hey, really quick timeout. We'll get right back to the video. Do me one favor. Make sure you're subscribed. It helps us keep the show free. It helps us keep the lights on. It helps us keep doing college football year round, and we appreciate it. All right, back to the video.
I don't have Texas in. I don't. And listen, Colin Simmons can take over a game. I love Trey Moore. I love Ethan Burke. I think I think Hill is maybe the best off-the-ball linebacker in college football. The offense has been too inconsistent. I don't know if you're going to be able to generate these explosives and make people miss and get in the open field and create explosive plays. I do think it's gotten better, but if we're talking about a playoff run against these other teams that we've mentioned, I don't think I'm going to have the Longhorns there, and I think I'll probably cut my list off there as well.
All right, so you're a no on USC, right?
Correct.
All right, I am too. I'm about to add one more rule, so stay tuned. Are you a no on Miami?
Unfortunately, yes, and it's consistency only. It is not big-time talent. It is not the ability to own the line of scrimmage. I think they can do that on both sides of the ball. Consistency, decision-making by Carson Beck, which consistently has not been great. Have big play capabilities on the perimeter. Love to run around and hit people, but just have not seen it week in, week out the way that I would need you to believe that you're going to run through the college football playoff and win all those games.
Utah, I assume, no?
There's a lot to like. What they rely on offensively, I think, would be a little bit easier to take away, even with Spencer Fano and a really physical offensive line. Devin Dampier, to me, just ad-libs a little bit too much, waits, holds the ball a little bit too long. I think that'll have a chance to get them in trouble in one of those games we're referencing on the way to a national championship.
All right, I forgot to tell you this is competitive. So the reason you have to make your bubble as small as possible is because if anyone else, in this case, my bubble, ends up being smaller than yours, you also die. So I have to inform you, in the interest of fairness, I have one fewer teams in my bubble than you do right now. Are you interested?
Can I guess the team you left out?
Go ahead.
It's not Texas Tech, because we know you fell in love with Lubbock last weekend, and the things you've been saying about that place, you would never do such a thing to that football team. But I will go Oklahoma. I think you left Oklahoma out, and they are on my list.
I left Oklahoma out, but I have Texas in. So we canceled each other out there. I left Texas Tech out. Number one, because Lubbock's not playing in the playoff game. Texas Tech is. And number two, they're playing the game in Miami and not Lubbock. So I think quarterback would end up getting them in trouble in one of these bigger games. I don't think that they could push the ball enough. I think, and you remember, you got to win 3 of them minimum. So you've got to stack those games on top of each other. I'm willing to bet against them doing that consistently enough where I can eliminate them and make my bubble smaller.
See, I like your mission accomplished by teeing me up to look bad in front of certain fan bases. So I wanted to make my tee higher than yours after all the placating you did to Texas Tech's fans, and get it right there on top of that tee for you to just knock them off. And they realize that that belief is just not there.
Yeah, what's crazy is how vastly you underestimate my ability to seamlessly transition into taking credit for motivating a team and then be right back into good graces with that fan base. You really underestimate my ability to do that.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, it is the nature of
Good
a chameleon. All right, well, our bubbles are set.
I have not mastered that, because trust me, the fan bases that don't like me, it has been years,
It's
and they
crazy.
still hate me. So
You even name squirrels after yourself on various campi. You pay the money for it out of your own pocket, and they still hate you.
we tried.
Man.